What's up guys, today we're going to be looking at the new rune changes and what they actually mean in terms of which you should be using. Now I'm going to give you a brief overview and then examples for every role so you can take these and test them out in your own games. Now also I know this is a little bit late, but I just hit 100,000 subscribers, which is awesome, and so I've got some really cool stuff to give away at the end of this video. So first off, what has changed? So they changed a few seals, glyphs and quintessences, but let's look at the quints first. So they buffed both cooldown reduction quints, the attack speed quint, and they nerfed lifesteal quints. Now do remember that they also buffed the mastery feast, which gives you mana and health back on killing a minion, which kind of balances out the lifesteal nerf. So for seals, they nerfed both flat and scaling armor while buffing both health seals and health regen. They did however place the missing armor onto a champion's base armor, which means actually if you still run armor seals then there's no difference at all. Finally for glyphs, they buffed both cooldown reduction and mana regen. So rather than me tell you what these could potentially mean and go in depth in general, I think it's going to be more useful if we look at these for each role individually and go into detail about what you could now use for runes. Now the best way for me to do this is going to be putting examples of what you can run on screen so you can see them, and I'll talk you through my thoughts about them and which combination you want to take. So let's look at AD first then. Your marks and glyphs or reds and blues will most likely stay the same as flat AD and some form of magic resist to help you in the lane phase. The changes are really going to come from the quints and the seals. So because armor was nerfed, if you're not against a poke heavy lane then you can actually run health on your seals now. Now I've been playing with this a little bit in my own games and I personally prefer taking a mix of flat health and flat armor, but you can also just run flat armor still when you're against someone like Caitlyn, or even health per level if you're against a really weak lane. So for quints there are three you could really be using, and they are lifesteal, attack damage and attack speed. Now lifesteal was nerfed, but it's still going to be good for really hard lanes, and most people are running either the full 3 lifesteal quints or just 1 depending on how hard the matchup is. Now attack speed quints got buffed this patch and is actually really good, with a lot of pro players seemingly preferring it over anything else. Now at the moment most people are running 2 attack speed quints and 1 AD, or they're just running the full 3 attack speed quints. Now attack speed helps you CS a little bit, it also scales into mid game a lot better than flat AD does, and especially with someone like Lucian it will add a lot of damage to your ultimate by giving you more shots. Now attack damage quints are basically just the safe fallback option. You can't go wrong with AD, and so when you're not sure you should just take these. Now mid and top lane have pretty much stayed the same, so I put them together on this screen. The only difference really is what seal you're going to take. Now for mid lane, your reds will normally be magic penetration, blues magic resist or ability power, and then quints running AP too. For a standard top lane bruiser, your reds will be flat AD or armor penetration, blues magic resist for team fights, and then quints will be AD, armor or health. Now there are a couple of options for your seals, so you can either run health per level against a relatively weak lane, flat health against a strong lane, flat armor against a hard poke AD lane, and scaling armor against a weak AD lane. Now for mid lane, you can actually also run mana regen if you tend to run out of mana, but remember that it doesn't give you any stats for when you're actually fighting. Also, fun fact as well, if you run flat health on your seals, then you can actually run flat armor quints and you'll still have the same amount of armor as you would have had before the patch. So moving on to support, and it's such a varied role that it's hard for me to give you just a couple of pages to use like with the other roles, because some supports are tanks, some are burst, some are sustain, and some are just there for crowd control. So let's just talk about the changes themselves instead. Now cooldown reduction is really effective now, especially when you combine glyphs and quints together. Now if you run scaling CDR on both, then at level 18 you'd already have 30% of the 40% cap without items or any masteries. Now the interesting thing here is that 30% is obviously way too much from runes, because your items will give you some anyway. So this is going to free up your rune page a lot, because you only really need one of those two, and that lets you choose to have some more damage or more health or something in place of one of them. Now what I said earlier about when you should take health or armor on your seals still applies to support too, so for this role it's really about testing stuff and finding what you like, because really there isn't a wrong answer. Now I'm not going to go in depth on the jungle role because I talked to Foxtrot and we both agree that nothing has really changed, so there's not really anything for me to talk about. Now if you do have a specific question, you can either leave it below or tweet my brother and I'm sure he'll answer you as well. Okay then, so time for the giveaway, and I'm sure a lot of you cheeky suckers are gonna actually have skipped to this part as well. So I've hit 100,000 subs, and that is a lot of subscribers, so thank you guys for supporting me for so long. For those of you who don't know, I'm partnered up with FEENIX, and this is really cool for you guys because it means I can get my hands on some sweet stuff to give away. Now because it's my 100,000 giveaway, I've managed to get their entire collection, so one of you lucky people will be getting a brand new keyboard, mouse and a mouse pad. Now to enter this FEENIX giveaway, you'll need to go to Twitter, follow me and FEENIX, and tweet us using the hashtag FEENIXPHY. I'll put all the info below that you need and an example for you to copy so you definitely get it right. Now as well as this, I'm going to be giving away $10 of RP, and I'm going to buy you a copy of Learn the League ebook. Now you'll probably have noticed that the book is in my description, but it's basically just a complete guide on how to get better at League. Now I will put a link down below so you can check it out, and if you like it you can always pick it up yourself, and if you win I'll refund you the money to make it fair. So to win these two things, I'm going to keep it really simple and just like and comment on this video, and I'll randomly pick winners from the comments. I'm going to give you a week to enter for both of these so everyone can enter, and all of the info will be in the description. Good luck guys, thank you for watching my stuff, and I will catch you in my next video.